And we're the worst again. But we're going in the right direction. We did win 4 of the last 6. It is Friday, May 8th, 2026. We are in Phoenix, Arizona, and Chase Field, about to play 3 games versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. I went to Arizona back in 2006 with the traveling Dingleberries on our trek to visit every Major League Baseball park. We flew to Arizona and then to Texas. I am the Mets head, talking all things New York Mets, with a preview of Game 38 versus Arizona. If you enjoy my content, I ask that you please like and subscribe to the Mets head on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I was reading all these comments on Facebook about yesterday's lineup, especially without Beatty, Benj, and Melendez. People were losing their minds, asking if this is our best lineup. These are the best guys we got to put out there. And the answer is no, they're not. We were facing a left-hand pitcher. It's funny to be flipping out about those 3 hitters when overall for the season they're really not doing that great. And who would have thought the Mets fans would be flipping out that MJ Melendez wasn't in the lineup? Most left-hand hitters don't hit left-hand pitching very well, mostly because there are much fewer left-hand starting pitchers in baseball than right-handers. Only 30% of the starting pitchers in baseball are lefties. Since left-handers would only see left-hand pitchers 30% of the time, they don't get many at-bats against them, and they struggle more. Therefore, you sit your left-hand hitters versus the right-hand pitchers. Also, so that you can use your bench players, not only because they have a better chance of hitting, but to rest your other players who need to get a rest because 162 games is such a long time. You also don't want to freeze out your bench players so that when you really need them, they're not going to be very good. You got to keep them involved. I agree with Mendoza with putting in the right-hand hitters. And usually those left-handers will be brought in the game later anyway if needed. Unfortunately, with all our injuries, our bench is not very good. I liked Slater, Ibanez, and Brujan in the lineup, but would have preferred Torrens over one of them. But I think Mendy's been using him too much lately, and he needs to have a rest. Slater did go 2 for 3, batting fourth. He had a third of all of our hits yesterday, with Soto, Benj, Alvarez, and Taylor each having 1 hit. We only scored 2 runs on a sacrifice fly by Ibanez and a single by Tyrone Taylor in the second inning. In Colorado, we only scored 2 runs. Again, I have to say Mendy's choice of pitchers in previous games may have affected this one. By not using Manaea early in that game the day before, caused them to use more relievers, including Weaver, who may or may not have been used today. Scott pitched decent again, and again he was pulled too early, in my opinion. He threw 4 2/3, and with 2 outs and a runner on first in the 5th inning, and Moniak up, Mendoza pulled Scott to bring in Brazoban. Now, I already thought it was a mistake taking Scott out, but the second mistake was bringing in Brazoban. Moniak is their best hitter, and he is lefty. He is batting 180 versus left-hand pitching this year. Rayleigh should have been used in that position. But unfortunately, Mendoza used him the day before when we had a big lead and was unable to use him today. Also, unfortunately, we got rid of Lovelady, who had pitched well for us, and having two good left-handed relievers is really important these days, especially when your only left-handed reliever cannot pitch on consecutive days. I felt it was a waste to bring in Braziman in that situation. Should have left Scott in. And if you were to take him out in the sixth inning, bring in one of your other relievers. That's when you bring in Warren or Kimbrell, when it's in the middle of the game, not at the end. Braziman did give up only that one run in the following inning, and Warren gave up none in an inning in the third. Then he brought in Kimbrell, who gave up a single, a walk, and a grand slam. What was interesting is that three of those four batters that Kimbrell was to face were left-hand hitters. Really need that second lefty reliever. Would have been more useful in that situation. Our record is now 14-23. We are 9 games under 500. Last place in the NL East. 11 and a half games behind Atlanta. And we are tied for the worst record in the major leagues with San Francisco. Arizona is 17-19. Just 2 games under 500. And they are third in the NL West. 5.5 games behind the Dodgers. They have the 16th best record in the major leagues. On the mound for Arizona is 26-year-old right-hand pitcher Ryan Nelson. The 6'3", 184-pound pitcher was born in Henderson, New York, what we on Long Island would call upstate, all the way by Canada, on the eastern bank of Lake Erie. They must get lots of snow. He was picked in the second round by Arizona in 2019. Rutschman and Witt were picks 1 and 2 that year. We drafted Brett Beatty, 12th overall, before Corbin Carroll at 16 and George Kirby at 20. In his sixth major league season, he had pitched 93 games. He's 26-18 with a 4.18 ERA, 370 strikeouts, and 467 innings. Last year, he pitched in 33 games for Arizona, was 7-3, with a 3.39 ERA, 132 strikeouts, and 154 innings. This year, he's pitched in 7 games. He's 1-3, with a 6.61 ERA, 28 strikeouts, and 31 innings. He pitched against us on April 8th and got the win after pitching 5 2/3 of an inning, giving up 1 run on 5 hits with no walks and 7 strikeouts. My ideal lineup for the Mets tonight would have Bo Bichette leading off. He is 3 for 8 against Nelson with a walk, batting .269 this week. I'd bet Soto second. I don't think our best hitter, our best power hitter, and our best run producer should lead off, because then you're expecting your worst hitters to get on base in order for him to knock them in. Under normal circumstances, I'd prefer Soto batting third. But without Lindor in the lineup, I think he's best at number 2. He has dropped under 300 this year, but he is 3 for 12 against Nelson with a triple, 2 home runs, and 7 walks. But this week he's only batting 174. It doesn't seem to me like he likes that leadoff spot. At the moment, I'd probably bat Alvarez third. He's batting 316 this week with a 749 OPS. He's also 2 for 10 against Nelson with the home run. Then I'd either bat Melendez fourth, who's batting 325, but 273 this week, or I'd think about batting Benj fourth. He's batting 313 this week with an over 1,000 OPS. I'd like to have our hotter hitters up in the lineup so they get more bats. So I'd say Benj should be in center field in this game, batting fourth. Then I bat Semien fifth. He's batting 273 this week, 1 for 7 against Nelson. And then I probably put Melendez sixth, batting 325 with the 1,000 OPS, but dropping a bit. Then I think I'd bet Vientos seventh at first base. He's 2 for 9 against Nelson, only batting 200 this week, but I like his stability as a first baseman. And then I bet Beatty eighth at third base. He's batting 212, 214 this past week. He is 1 for 4 with a walk against Nelson. And then I think I would consider batting Slater ninth. He's batting 257 this season, but he's batting 500 this week with over 1,000 OPS. I know most as a pinch hitter, but keep him in the lineup. Why not? It's not like the other guys are doing well. Ibanez and Brujan haven't gotten a hit yet. Taylor is 1 for 4 against Nelson with a triple, but he's only batting 125 this week. Torrens is only batting 111 this week, and he's under 200 overall. So I think I'd start Slater, the hot bat, see what he can do. Maybe he can keep it up. On the mound for the Mets is Nolan McLean. The 24-year-old right-hand pitcher is 6'2", 214 pounds. He was drafted by the Mets in the 3rd round in 2023. Skeens was number 1. Dylan Cruz went number 2. Langford was number 4. Jacob Wilson went number 6. We ended up picking Colin Ahuak, 32nd overall. McLean has been lights out, pitched 8 games last year, was 5-1 with a 2.06 ERA, 57 strikeouts in 48 innings. This year he's pitched in 7 games. He's 1-2 because we can't hit with a 2.97 ERA and 51 strikeouts in 39 innings pitched. The Diamondbacks have released their lineup. Perdomo's leading off at shortstop, only batting 234 this year with 10 extra base hits. 0-2 against McLean with a walk. Kevin Marte is batting second, playing second base. Not having a good year. He's killing my fantasy team. Batting 209. 0 for 3 against McLean and batting 067 this week. Batting third is Corbin Carroll, batting 264 with 16 extra base hits. Never faced McLean and is batting 130 this week. I'm surprised to see Del Castillo batting fourth. I know he is a lefty, but he's only batting 219. Is 0-3 against McLean, batting 267 this week. Vargas is batting fifth, who seems to be their best player so far this year. The switch hitter is batting 360 with 15 extra base hits and a 995 OPS, batting 292 this week. Arenado is batting sixth. He is batting 272 and batting 357 this week. Batting seventh, Gurriel is back. He's batting 255 with a 637 OPS. But he is batting 455 this week with an over 1100 OPS. I really would have batted him fourth or fifth and moved Castillo down to break up their lefties. Moreno is batting eighth at catcher, batting 245 with a 694 OPS. And Barossa is playing in center field, batting ninth. The switch hitter is batting 194, but he has 11 extra base hits. The only player that has had success against McLean is Fernandez, who is batting 292 with the 750 OPS. He is 2 for 3 against McLean with a double. One of the only two Diamondbacks who have hits against McLean, besides Tawa, and both are on the bench. As for the Mets, they have released their lineup. Juan Soto is leading off. You know I don't like it. Bo Bichette's batting second. Okay. Brett Baty batting third. What is that ridiculousness? He's only batting 214 this week, and he's batting 212 overall. He should not be batting third. Mark Vientos is batting fourth. I'm sorry, you missed the heat, Mendy. He needs to be moved down the lineup. Carson Bench batting fifth. I like that. Reward the man. Pay the man his money. Batting 313 this week. Semien batting sixth. Melendez batting seventh. Interesting that he's moving him down the lineup, even though he's still hitting. That doesn't make sense. Alvarez is the DH, batting eighth. Again, I mentioned before, he's batting 316 this week. Really should not be batting down at the bottom. And Torrens is batting ninth. Not a fan. He's batting 179 and 111 this week. I think he should place later. Now let's go, Mets go. I'm not very confident in this game either, even though McLean's pitching. Mendoza is all over the place in this lineup. Until next time, I'm Juan Gan.